Please listen carefully, as the following is an important safety announcement. Swimmers, you are reminded that the depth of the water at the starting end is 1 metre and the depth of the water at the turning end is 1.8 metres.
The height of the starting blocks above the water at the start end is 700 millimetres.
Only those swimmers who have reached the standard of the ASA Competitive Start Award are permitted to start with a shallow racing dive from the starting blocks.
In the event of a false start, please continue with a shallow racing dive. You must not topple into the water, head downwards, as this is dangerous.
Please do not sit or pull yourself along the lane ropes throughout the gala, and when leaving the pool, please exit to the sides and do not climb over the timing boards.
If you are starting in the water, you must lower yourself over the side. Do not jump or dive.
In the event that we need to evacuate the building, the sound you will hear will be an electronic siren and red lights will flash around the building.
In this case, please leave the building using the nearest, safest emergency exit, which are to be kept clear at all times.
In the event of an emergency, please follow the direction of the swim centre staff. Swimmers and officials, you are reminded not to return to the changing rooms to collect your personal belongings.
There should be no glass on poolside.
In line with the recommendation in the ASA Child Protection Policy, the promoters of this event request that anybody wishing to engage in any zoom, video or close-range photography must register their details with staff at entrance control before carrying out any such photography.
This includes the use of a mobile phone with an image capturing facility.
Thank you for your attention. Enjoy today's event.
Please put your hands together and welcome your President, Mr. Chris Sage, and your East Region President, Mr. Ian Mackenzie, and your officials for Session 10. And your officials. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding for the national anthem?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the venue, Borehamwood. Welcome to Herts County's 2014 Herts ASA Championship session number 10. We have a fun-packed morning for you. We have a number of events. Events numbers 53 through 57, the men's 400 freestyle, followed by the women's 50-metre breaststroke and the men's 50-metre backstroke, with a couple of finals in the 50 breast and the men's 50 back. One announcement: that event number 53, the men's 400 freestyle, 16-year-old and championships events are being swum under protest. The results of these events will be confirmed on resolution of the protest. This means there will be no medals or trophies awarded until the protest is concluded. All medals for age groups up to 15 years will be awarded as normal, though. Also delighted to announce that we do have live streaming in full high definition of the session available through YouTube. Just go to YouTube and in the search facility type in Herts ASA, or you may go to the Herts ASA website, hertsasa.org.uk, and you'll be able to see live coverage of the swimming, which yesterday we can advise was broadcast as far afield as Australia, South Africa and the USA. The first event today is the men's 400 freestyle. We have 13 heats. So here we go with heat number 1 of the men's 400 metre freestyle. We have swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5, referee. So 16 lengths of the pool. In heat 1 we have in lane number 3 Daniel Murta of Stevenage. In lane 4 George Thorne from Tring, and lane 5 Kieran Cook from Costa. All three of these boys are 10 years old, with entry times on or around 6.5 minutes. So there's George Thorne, turning at the 100 mark, 1:21.53, just ahead of Daniel Murta in second spot, with Kieran turning a time of 1:26.71. George turns in 2:06.09. You will notice in your session programs a number of notable times in there, including championship records. Some of them go back many years, and hoping today we do see some records broken. So George Thorne still setting the pace, being closely tailed by Daniel Murta. Reminder that all the swimmers in this heat are 10 years old. Daniel Murta in lane 3, a 10-year-old from Stevenage. George Thorne in lane 4 from Tring, and Kieran Cook in 5 from Costa. Okay, so as George Thorne comes in to finish, George Thorne in lane 4, will touch first in a time of 5:44.98. Well done, George. Daniel comes in a touch time of 5:51.34. Well inside their entry times there, big improvement. And Kieran Cook comes in now to finish his heat in a time of 6:05.24. All swimmers well within their entry time, so it's a good swim. A reminder that we do have plenty of unclaimed medals from earlier sessions and events, so please do make sure you look at the notice board, check the results and come and claim those medals.
Just solving a small computer problem. I noticed we had a few of those yesterday. They don't tend to last very long. Our technical team are highly skilled in dealing with problems on the systems here. So we should be back up and running very shortly. Can you, if you have won medals, as Dan just said, can you make a point of trying to collect them as soon as you can, please? We like to try to make sure that they do get given out, and obviously on the last day we really would like to make sure we get as many out as possible so we can work out where the ones that haven't been collected can be sent so they can be picked up by coaches or team managers and people to pass on to the winners. You can see the racing. It's about a minute delayed, I think, on YouTube. It is in high definition, and the people who were watching it yesterday tell me that it really was exceptionally good. The quality is really up near broadcast standard in terms of what you can do on the internet, and we're very fortunate to have such a fantastic facility here today. Not sure we are because the board's not set. We're still waiting, Craig. And as I said yesterday, there's a feedback form on the back page of the programme. Can you make sure you do fill in comments on this? Any helpful suggestions, things you like, things you didn't like, are greatly received. Heat number 2 of the 400 metres freestyle. Thirteen heats of this. This is heat number 2 of 13, and in this one, in lane 2, we've got Benjamin Green from Watford. Lane 3 is Maxwell George from Hatfield. Lane 4 is Alex Horn from St Albans. 5, Luke Temple from Harpenden. 6 is Edward Jacks from St Albans. And lane 7, Marco Tontananati from Hoddesdon. All 10 years old. Complete heat of 10 years old, all racing against each other. 16 lengths after two of them, 36.68 in the lead is Maxwell George. Hertford entered at 6.23. The 100 metre split, the first of the splits, 1:19.47 for our leader Maxwell George, 1:23s for 2:47 and 5, which is Benjamin, Alex, Luke and Marco. Edward at 1:29, so pretty close. Leader gone out quite fast. So coming up to the 150 metre turn, and it's still a lane 3, Hertford swimmer out there, 2:03 at 150, and again really nothing to choose between the others. Marco and Alex are just starting to go a little bit further, but there's really nothing at this stage of 400 metres to see the trying to make a break, push on. But in the lead though. Maxwell, Hatfield swimmer, 6:23. So let's see what his halfway split's going to be, coming up to the 200 metre mark. And he's a long way inside his split time for his entry. And he's well inside 3 minutes, so turning at 2:47, so he's looking for a really good time. Marco now pushing on as well in lane 6, and Marco in 7, 2:54, doing very well. 2:55 for Alex Horn at halfway, 2:57 for Luke Temple, and 2:57 also for Ben Green. 3 minutes 08 for Edward Jex, but again, that's got to bear in mind that's still well inside his entry time, so although he's a little bit behind the others here, he's still swimming at PB pace at the moment. Maxwell still in the lead though, and not being caught at the moment. 250. Marco second to turn, he's got a little bit of a gap there, and now a little bit of a gap forming between Alex and Luke in 4 and 5, and back to Benjamin in lane 2. So they're getting just a little bit of more of a spread now. 3:57 for Edward, he's still going very well, still inside his entry time. Maxwell George is pushing on a bit now. Actually, he's now got a bit more of a lead. He's at the 300 metre mark. His turns at 4:19.62, so that's looking pretty good. He needs to really kick on hard over this last 100. Marco at 4:27.71. He's getting caught now though, 4:28 and 4:29 for Alex and Luke. They're very close. 4:32 for Benjamin at 300. So these are all now starting to sprint into their final 100. 4:45.9 for Edward Jelks with just 100 to go. So again, he's inside his entry time. Marco now gradually getting hauled in by the swimmers in 4 and 5, Alex and Luke. And getting close to him, but he's still there in second, but with 50 metres to go. 5:05 for our leader, Maxwell. Heading up into this last 50 metres, and very, very close. 5:13, 5:14 for all of the 3 chasing swimmers. 5:18 for Benjamin Green with just 2 lengths to go. Don't forget, entry times here are ranging from 6:18 to 6:27. So we're looking at massive PBs against their entry times. 5:33 for Edward Jex. Maxwell entered at 6:23, and he comes into his last two strokes and he clocks a 5:48.27. Excellent swim. Big sprint finish, the second to touch here, and the touch goes to Alex Horn in 5:55.98, under 6 minutes. Third to touch there, Luke Temple from Harbour, entered at 6:22 and he clocks 5:56. Marco Tontonati got caught just at the very end there. He clocks 5:59.65, again under 6 minutes. He entered at 6:27, and Edward Jex entered at 6:23, goes 6:19, so well inside his entry time as well. Excellent swims by all of those boys. Heat number 3 of this men's 400 meters freestyle.
Here we go at heat number 3. We've got swimmers in all 8 lanes. In lane 1, Zane Batt. Zane's 10-year-old from Cheshunt. In 2, Angus Harrow, 11-year-old from Harpenden. In lane 3, James Smith, 11-year-old from Potters Bar. In 4, also from Potters Bar, 11-year-old Alfie Francis. In 5, Yannick Wilson, 11-year-old from Harpenden. In lane 6, Ish Rahim, 11-year-old from Berkhamsted. In 7, Lewis Armitage, 10-year-old from Berkhamsted. And in lane 8, Lewis Clark, 10-year-old from Watford. At the first split, the 50-metre mark. Race leader James Smith, the time of 36.50. Pretty evenly spread across the pool at this early stage. The 100 point will be James Smith who touches first, time 1:17.61. The head of Yannick Wilson in lane 5, 1:19.35. From lane 6, Ish Rahim. Thanks, mate. James in lane 3 has an entry time of 5:51.43. The 150 point. James will turn first in a time of 2 minutes dead, 2 minutes 22. Yannick Wilson turning second in 2:02.58 with 2:04.31. That's Lewis Clark of Watford, a 10-year-old. All the swimmers now approaching the halfway point. It'll be the 200 marker, so let's see how close they are to their entry times, which range between 5:49 up to 6:09. But it's still James Smith who turns in 2:44.32. From Yannick Wilson, time 2:46.29. And Louis Clark in 2:48 in lane number 8. So the 250 point at a time of 3:28.28. Still James Smith. From Yannick Wilson in 5 and Louis Clark in 8. Fourth position, 3:35.02. That's Alfie Francis of Potter's Bar. Our 10-year-olds in this heat are Zane Batt in lane 1, Louis Armitage in 7 and Lewis Clark in lane 8. Right, with 100 to go, it's still James Smith turning in 4:10. With Yannick Wilson in second and Lewis Clark third. So very close indeed between in 3, James Smith and 11-year-old from Potter's Bar, and Yannick Wilson in 5, 11-year-old from Harpenden. It's only with 50 to go now, with 4:55.10 for James. Just over a second separating James and Yannick. Yannick Wilson in lane 5. So, with 25 to go. James Smith in lane 3 and Yannick Wilson in lane 5. Both sprinting now to the finish. James, who's led from the beginning, touches first in 5:34.17, just ahead of Yannick Wilson, a time of 5:34.66. Louis Clark in 5:40.42 in lane 8. Angus Harrow touching 5:44 in lane 2. Zane Batt in 5:48. Ish Rahim 5:49.
Heat number 4 of the 400 metres freestyle. Heat number 4 underway. Lane 1 is Thomas Codenhead from St Albans, is 11. Lane 2 is Ethan Sutton, 11 from Watford. Lane 3, Cameron Clark, 12 from Watford. Lane 4, Ryan Pocock, 12 from Stevenage. Lane 5 is Peter Kenyon, who's 12 from Tring, then 3 11-year-olds. Lane 6, Joshua Foreman from Hartsmith Flyers. Lane 7, Dominic McCarthy from Hoddesdon, and lane 8 is Conor O'Brien from Watford. Early leader, 34.99 for the first 50 is Ryan Pocock from Stevenage. He's looking like he's going to go out quite hard from the middle. Fastest entrant, always find the fastest entrant in the heats when they're spearheaded is in lane 4. Coming up to the first of the proper splits at 100. And Ryan splits at 1:14.98, so that's going out pretty quick. 1:18s and 1:19s for 6, 1 and 2 in that order, which is Joshua in 6 and Thomas in 1 and Ethan in 2. 1:20s and 1:24s behind those leading groups, so very close in the middle at the moment. Ryan's entered at 5:37. And 1:50s at 1:55, so he's quite a way inside his split times. He needs to get near that. And 2 minutes, the others are all pretty close as well. And now starting to make a move in lane 1, Thomas Codenhead. And going with him alongside is Ethan Sutton, two 11-year-old swimmers. But Ryan Pocock still out in the lead at the moment. Stevenage swimmer coming up to his halfway split. So remember 5:37. And he's inside that at the moment, and he turns at 2:37.71. And now second to turn, getting a bit closer, 2:41.08 for Thomas Cadenhead, 2:45s both together for 6 and 2, which is Joshua and Ethan, and then 2:48, 2:49 for 7, 5 and 3 in that order. So Dominic in 7, Peter in 5 and Cameron in 3. 2:57 for Conor O'Brien at halfway. 2:50. And Ryan's still holding a good pace, but starting to go after him a bit now. Thomas in lane 1 at 3:23, so 3:27 and 3:28 for Joshua Foreman and Cameron Clark. And now 3:32 and 3:33 for Dominic and Peter in 7.5. So spreading out a little bit across the pool as we come up now to the 300-metre turn. So this is the final 100-metre split. 4 lengths of the pool to go. Ryan Pocock turns at 4 minutes, going into his final length, so he's well up on his entry time. Thomas turns at 4:06, so he's catching slowly, but not massively. 4:10. For Joshua Foreman, 4:11 for Ethan Sutton, 4:16 for Dominic McCarthy and 4:19 for Peter Kenyon with 100 to go, 4:21 for Cameron Clark. And 4:30 for Conor O'Brien. So 2 lengths of the pool to go, 4:40. For Ryan Pocock, entered at 5:37, going to be a long way inside that if he keeps going at this pace. 4:48 for Thomas Cadenhead, again well inside his entry time. 4:52 for Joshua Foreman, all these now sprinting into their last 50. Coming down the final length in the middle of the pool, going to his feet and kicking very, very hard. Ryan Pocock went out fast and stayed fast all the way along this race. 5 metres to go, entered at 5:37, and Ryan Pocock touches at 5:17.69. Also now going very fast, Thomas Cadenhead sprinting in, he entered at 5:46, he's 20 seconds inside his entry time, 5:26.8, 5:30 third to touch was Joshua Foreman, he entered at 5:44, 5:33 for Ethan Sutton who entered at 5:45, so all massive reductions in their entry times. 5:43, lane 7 just getting the touch there, Dominic just fractionally ahead of Peter Kenyon at 5:43. And 5:46 for Cameron Clark. Last one just coming in to touch, Conor O'Brien entered at 5:48, just outside that at 5:59.
Okay, now heat number 5 of the men's 400-metre freestyle. Referee. So here we go with heat number 5. We have swimmers in all 8 lanes. In lane 1 we have Elliot Hitchin, 12-year-old from St Albans. In lane 2, Ralph Davis, 12-year-old from Hoddesdon. In 3, Daniel English, 11-year-old from Hitchin. In 4, Daniel Cole, 12-year-old from Hoddesdon. In 5, Nathan Wankling, 12-year-old from Hatfield. 6, Benay Batinda, 11-year-old from Stevenage. In 7, Michael Ripper, 12-year-old from Harpenden. And lane 8, Guy Munter, 11-year-old from St Albans. But at the first split, turning in a time of 34.10, that's Michael Ripper from Harpenden. 16 lengths of the pool here in the 400 metre freestyle. It does look like our 12-year-old from Hertfordshire, Michael Ripper, would touch first at the 100 metre point at a time of 1:12.40. Just ahead of Ralph Davis, it's on 1:15, and Elliot Hitchin, 1:17. Michael in lane 7 with an entry time of 5:34.01. At the 150 point turns in 150.87. Very close to second. Only just over a second separating 5 swimmers at between 158 and 159. With Guy Munster turning in 2:03, 11-year-old from St Albans in lane 8. But Michael Ripper in lane 7 at his halfway point, turning a time of 2:29.58. Looks on course to be well inside his entry time. And still very close to second spot between lanes 1, 3, 2 and 5. That's Elliot, Ralph, Daniel and Nathan Wankling. It's Elliot Hitchin in 1, Ralph Davis in 2, Daniel Hitchin in 3 and Nathan Wankling in 5. And Michael Ripper turns at the 250 point, a time of 3:08.41 in lane number 7. Elliot Hitchin turning in 3:20. Daniel English 3:21 in lane 3. Nathan Wankling 5 and turning 3:21. Well, with 100 to go, still Michael Ripper in lane 7, turns in time of 3:47. Daniel English in 4:02, just slightly ahead of Nathan Wankling lane 5 from Hatfield in 4:02. With coming up with 50 to go for Michael Ripper, our early race leader, seems to have command of this heat, turning in time of 4:26.53. So Michael in lane 7, an entry time of 5:34.01, coming to complete his heat, will be well inside his entry time. Michael Ripper in lane 7 and completes in a time of 5:02.35. In lane 5, Nathan Wankling from Hatfield, 12-year-old. Looks like he will finish second. In his entry time was 5:31. He comes into touch in time 5:20.79. From lane 3, Daniel English, 11-year-old, 5:23.49. Elliot Hitchin from St Albans, lane 1, 5:25. Daniel Cole, 5:29. 5:30 for Benai Matinda. 5:30 by the rest.
Heat number 6 of the men's 400 metres freestyle. Heat 6, lane 1, Nathan Stewart from Stevenage. All the swimmers in this heat are 12 years old. Lane 2 is Daniel Rinkoff from Hartsmith Flies. Lane 3, Matthew Redger from Watford. Lane 4, John Talensky from Harpenden. Lane 5, Marcus Kemp from Watford. Lane 6, Ashley Coombs from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 7, Joseph Richardson from Harpenden. And Lane 8, Marco Tontolanati from Hoddesdon. All 12 years old. And they hit the 50 turn, and it's lane 5, early lead, although there's really only a couple of seconds spread across the whole of the pool at the moment. So nothing much to choose between them at 50. Do remember to come and get your medals. Do please come and collect your medals from the medal table behind where we're standing when you get a chance. Check the result sheets and come and collect your medals from the ladies at the table here. Coming up to the 100 metre split, and it's going to be in the lead. Marcus Kemp, lane 5, 1:11.21, so speeding up a bit now. 2 on 1:13, which is Daniel Rinkoff and John Talensky, and then 3 on 1:14, there's 4, 3 and 6, which is 3 and 6 part behind those two, which is Matthew Redger and Ashley Coombs. Approaching 150 in the second 100. The swimmers in 2, 3 and 7 are starting to try and make a move. Our leader 150.67 at 150, but 1 minute 53, 1 minute 54 for Matthew Redger in 3 and Daniel Rinkoff in 2 and Joseph Richardson in 7. These three just starting to pull away from the pack. Coming up towards the halfway mark for our leader. Marcus Kemp from Watford, 12-year-old swimmer, entered at 5:23. So I'll be looking for around about a 2:40 mark for turning, and he's actually at 2:29.46. 2:33 for Matthew Redger, 2:34 and 2:35 for Joseph Richardson and Daniel Rinkoff, 2:38 for Nathan Stewart and Ashley Coombs, and 2:39, 2:41 for John Talensky and Marco Tontolanati. That's the halfway split. So now just starting to move into second place now is Matthew Redger from Watford, entered at 5:24. He's got a couple of seconds now over a third place swimmer, Joseph Richardson from Harpenden in lane 7, and then just behind him Daniel Rinkoff in lane 2. Coming down now towards the 300 metre mark. He's got 4 lengths to go for our leader. Excellent form, nice and straight, head down. And Marcus Kemp, remember 5:23 he's looking for, and he's got 100 to go, and he's at 3:46.96. Second to turn, 3:53.47 is Matthew Redger, 3:56.63 for Joseph Richardson, and 3:58 for Daniel Rinkoff. 4 minutes and 4 minutes 2 for Nathan Stewart and Ashley Coombs, and 4:05 for Marco Tontolanati. 4:11, the final turner on this is John Talensky in lane 4. He's got 100 to go. John? 50 to go for our leader. Last 2 lengths. And goes to his feet, kicking hard, going all the way for us with just 2 lengths of the pool to go. into the last 15 metres. Marcus Kemp entered at 5:23.66. It's going to be under 5 minutes, goes 4:59.58. Excellent swim, under 5 minutes. Matthew Rajab entered at 5:24 in lane 3. He's going to be second to touch, and he touches at 5:11.04. Third to touch of 5:14.36. Joseph Richardson, he entered at 5:29. 5:17.3 for Daniel Rinkoff. Good sprint at the end. He entered at 5:28. 5:17.39, only 900ths behind him for Nathan Stewart. 5:21 for Ashley Coombs. 5:27 for Matteo Tontadonati. And final swimmer coming in, John Talensky, just outside his entry time at 5:38. Well done to all of those swimmers.
Heat number 7 now of the men's 400 metre freestyle. Swimmers in all 8 lanes, referee. So we go with heat number 7, so we're steaming through the 400 heats. Over halfway through, in lane 1 we have Thomas Toland from St Albans, 13-year-old. In lane 1, Dinith Karanathalika, 12-year-old from Hatfield in lane 2. James Brackenbury in lane 3, 13-year-old from Hitchin. James Cole in 4, 12-year-old from Tring. Timothy Hughes in lane 5, 11-year-old from Hatfield. Toby Laguda, also from Hatfield, 11-year-old in lane 6. Stephen Raffey, 13-year-old from Bishop Stortford in lane 7, and Nicholas Bota, 11-year-old from Bishop Stortford in lane 8. But at the first 50, turning first is Stephen Raffey in a time of 32.19. A reminder that we have plenty of medals to be claimed and collected from the medals table. So please too take notice of the result sheets dotted around the arena. But at the 100 mark, Stephen Raffey turns in 1:07.98 from James Brackenbury in 1:09. And Cole James, 1:10.37. So the swimmers are approaching the 150 mark now, with Stephen turning time 1:44.39, Stephen Raffey in lane 7. James Brackenbury leading from Cole James, and Toby Laguda turning in 1:50. They're now approaching the halfway point. So the 200 marker, lane 7, Stephen Raffey, will turn at the halfway point in 2:21.04. 2:25 for Cole James, 2:26, James Brackenbury, 2:27, Toby Laguda, 2:27, Tim Hughes, 2:33, Dinith Karathalaka, 2:34, Thomas Toland, 2:40, Nicholas Bota. But at 2:50, at the 2:50 point, it's still in time at 2:58. That is Stephen Raffey of Bishop Stortford. Second to Cole James of Tring, turning at 3:03. And Toby Laguda, 3:04 in lane 6, 3:04, Tim Hughes. With 100 to go, 3:34.19, Stephen Raffey, Bishop Stortford. Touching ahead in 3:41, that's Cole James. Very evenly spread between second, third and fourth place. Stephen in lane 7 with an entry time of 5:19.55. (4:11.89) with 50 to go. Stephen Raffy. 4:18 with 50 to go for Cole James. 4:19 for Tim Hughes. 4:20, Toby Laguda. 4:26, James Brackenbury. 4:33 in lane 2, Dinith Karathanalaka. 4:34, Thomas Toland. But just coming in now to close out his heat at lane number 7, Stephen Raffy touches in 4:47.04, well inside his entry time of 5:19.55. Excellent swim there. Finishing second in 4:53.68, that's Cole James. 4:54 is Tim Hughes. 4:55, Toby Laguda. 5:03, James Brackenbury. 5:11.62, that's Dinith Karathanalaka. 5:12.80, Thomas Toland. And lane 8 coming in now, that's Nicholas Boter, a Bridgestone 11-year-old. In a time of 5:23.14. That concludes heat number 7.
Heat number 8 of this men's 400 metres freestyle. Heat 8, lane 1 is Ryan Brewster, who's 14 from Hoddesdon. Lane 2, Ralph Munster, 13 from St Albans. Lane 3, Ben Hunt, who's 14 from Hoddesdon. Lane 4, George Loverman, 13 from St Albans. Lane 5, Tom Weston is 13 from Berkhamsted. 6, James Janelles, 12 from Tring. 7, Anthony Smith, 13 from Hatfield. And lane 8 is Harrison Lees, 13 from Watford. 30.93 at 50. Tom Weston leading the way. Tom at the moment in this early stage being chased by lane 3, which is Ben Hunt. Coming up to the first 100 metre split, we'll see where they are at that point. Entry times all around just over the 5-minute mark. Tom Weston turning at 66.73, 67.27 for Ben Hunt, 68.93.69 for George Loverman and James Chanels, 69 also for Anthony Smith, and the others all at 71. So getting a little bit closer now, Ben Hunt to Tom Weston, and at the 150 mark, they're going to be very close. Yeah, they're pretty much the same time there. 146 behind them at the moment is George Loverman, and then coming behind him is James Chanels. And now we've got 3 of them starting to move up together as they turn to come down towards their halfway split. Good turn in lane 3 there, goes Ben Hunt just ahead of the others, but coming up now is Tom Weston in lane 4 alongside, so George Loverman in lane 4 alongside Tom Weston. And now at the halfway split, 2:22.34 for Ben Hunt, 2:22.66 for George Loverman now in second, 2:24.08 for Tom Weston. All pretty much together, 2:25. And 2:27s for a whole pack of them just behind the leading 3. But now moving on, lanes 3 and 4. Starting to push on, but Tom Weston now got James Chanel's coming up in shoulder as well. 2:50 mark, George Loverman's going to turn first, under 3 minutes, and 3 minutes exactly for Ben Hunt. 3:03, 3:04 for Tom Weston, James Chanel, so that's getting close. Whole group of them on 3:06, 7, 8 and 2, but it could be in any order at all. Anthony Smith, Harrison Lees and Ralph Munster. 3:11 at that point for Ryan Brewster, so he's a few seconds behind them, but not far. Do we have any final swimmers for the 400 freestyle, please, the marching air? Final swimmers, 400 free to the marching air. This is the 300 metre, last 100. 100 to go, and with 100 to go, George Loverman hits the front. 3:36.36, 3:39.35 for Ben Hunt, 3:42.98 for Tom Weston, and 3:43 for James Chanel's, 3:44 for all of Harrison Lees, Ralph Munster and Anthony Smith, 3:52 for Ryan Brewster. And there's a big sprint going on in this chasing pack. Got 50 metres to go when these guys hit the final turn here. But now right out in the lead. George Loverman paced it very well over that first 100 as he gradually pulled them back. With 50 to go, 4:12.81. Right behind him, Ben Hunt, 4:17.43. And then a whole group of swimmers on 4:21, 4:22. Now going into the lead, Harrison Lees just ahead of James Chanel's and Ralph Munster. And with just 1 length to go, there's a big sprint finish at the end of this 16-length race. Into the final 6 or 7 metres for our leader, Tom Weston. 13-year-old entered at 5:02.95, goes 4:48.46. Ben Hunt taking a touch of 4:52.84, entered at 5:03. Whole group of people touching together. Third to touch was finally Harrison Lees at 4:56. 4:56 also for James Chanel's, 4:57 for Ralph Munster, 4:59 for Anthony Smith. 5 minutes for lane 5 for Tom Weston, and finally 5:07 for Ryan Brewster. Heat number 10 of 13 of this men's 400 metre freestyle.
Calling please all the ladies, women for the 50 metre breaststroke, so the first 5 heats. Can you please start making your way to the marching area? In fact, now we have you all, please. Can we have all the women for the 50 metre breaststroke to the marching area, event number 54. Thank you. Okay, so heat number 9, we have swimmers all 8 lanes. In lane 1 we have James Blount of Potters Bar, 13-year-old, 2 Jack Fagan, 14-year-old from Watford, 3 Ben Muggston, 12-year-old from St Albans, 4 Callum Wollaston, 12-year-old from Cheshunt, 5 Adam Martin, 13-year-old from Hertfordshire Flyers, 6 Jacob Hutchins, 6 15-year-old from Hemel, 7 Casimir Uswin Jones, 14 from St Albans, and 8 Harry Jones, 14-year-old from Hitchin. All very close to the 75 metre mark, so we'll see who has the early race lead at the first quarter split, the 100 split. Looks like that'll be lane 5 touching first, and so 1:07.77, just ahead of lane 6, so that's Adam Martin of Hertfordshire Flyers, just ahead of Jacob Hutchins. But the 150 point in 1:44.37, that's Jacob Hutchins of Hemel. Just ahead of Adam Martin in 1:44, and Harry Jones from Hitchin. All swimmers now approaching the halfway point. the 200-metre mark. But the halfway split very close between lanes 5 and 6. Adam Martin in 5, Jacob Hutchinson in 6, Adam 13-year-old from Hartsmere Flyers. We do have two 12-year-olds in this heat, Ben Muckleston of St Albans in 3 and Callum Wollaston of Cheshunt in 4. All these swimmers with entry times in the late 450s. But at 250, it's in 258.25. That's Adam Martin, just ahead of Jacob Hutchins. Very close between Callum Wollaston in 4 and Harry Jones in lane 8. So Jacob Hutchins now takes slight advantage in lane 6, just ahead of Adam Martin. Ben Muckleston, a 12-year-old from St Albans, doing well in lane 3. But with only 50 to go, it's been very close between lanes 5 and 6. It's been very close between both these swimmers in this heat. Adam Martin in lane 5 and Jacob Hutchins in lane 6. Jacob's 15 from Hemel, Adam 13 from Hartsmere Flyers. Both with entry times in 4:56. They're both sprinting very hard, but here's Adam Martin in lane 5. Just sprinting just ahead to, looks like he will close out the heat in a time of 4:45.40, just ahead of Jacob Hutchins in 4:47.28. Touching third is 4:51.13. That is James Blount, 4:52.13. Callum Wollaston, 4:53. Harry Jones, 4:56 for Jack Fagan, 4:56.90 for Casimir Usman-Jones, and 5 minutes 17, Ben Muckleston.
Heat number 10 of the men's 400 metres freestyle. Can we have all the remaining ladies 50-metre breaststroke swimmers marching area, please? 50-metre breaststroke is the marching area, please. Heat 10, lane 1, Carl Holmes, who's 14 from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 2, Jack Sherwell Cooper, 14 from Potters Bar. Lane 3 is David Shipman, who's 13 from Potters Bar. Lane 4, Joseph Taylor, 13 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5, Hamish McCaig, 16 from Berkhamsted. Lane 6 is Rhys Housden. He's the 11-year-old, the fastest 11-year-old entrant in this competition. He's from Hatfield, entered at 4:51.29. The record for 11-year-old, the championship record, is 4:45.26, so keep an eye on that for Rhys in lane 6. Lane 7, Ollie Taverner, 12 years old from Watford, and lane 8 is Daniel Lush, who's 13 from Cheshunt. Coming up towards the 100-metre split. And Rhys Housden is right up there, so on course for a new 11-year-old championship record. Turns first at 64.26, 65.3 for Hamish McCaig, 65 also for Joseph Taylor, and 66 for David Shipman. So that's all the pack is pretty much around that 66, 67 mark. And Rhys is still out there pushing on. If he can hold this up, he's going to get an excellent time. Reese turns 137, 139 flat, so he leads the way on the pack at the moment. Really nothing to choose between them at the moment. Small gap for Jack Sherwell-Cooper and Carl Holmes, but nothing much at this stage. So Reese Housen coming down towards his halfway split. Remember, the championship record for an 11-year-old is 4:45.26, set in 2006. Starting to get caught by the older swimmers, but he's a long way inside that championship split time if he can keep it going. But the lead now changes. 2:16 actually now, and it goes to Joseph Taylor and Hamish McCaig pretty much together. Reese Housden there, 2:17 also for David Shipman. So Reese needs to try and hang on to that pace for the last 200. But now going to the front, lane 4. Joseph Taylor, 13-year-old Bishopstorfer swimmer, entered at 4:46. And he's going to turn in the lead now at 2:51, 2:52. So a second behind him, Hamish McCaig. A couple of seconds back then to David Shipman and to Reese, and then a couple on 2:55, Ollie Taverner and Daniel Lush. So the leading three now got a little bit away from lane 6, 7 and 8. Approaching the 300-metre split. So it's 4 lengths of the pool to go when they turn. And in the lead now, lane 4. Joseph Taylor turns at 3:27 at 300, 3:29 for Hamish McCaig, 3:30 for David Shipman, 3:32 for Daniel Lush, 3:32 also for Ollie Taverner, 3:33 for Reese Housden, still up there though, 3:43 for Carl Holmes in lane 1. So Reese needs to hang on there, he's not got far to go, still on record pace, but in the lead in lane 4. Joseph Taylor, Bishopstorfer, entered 4:46. He's got 2 lengths to go and he's on 4:02.49. 4:06 together now for both Hamish McCaig and David Shipman. 4:07 for Daniel Lush going right up there. 4:09 for Ollie Taverner. 4:12 for Reese Housden. 4:13 for Jack Sherwell-Cooper. 4:21 for Carl Holmes. Sprinting into the last length now in lane 4. Joseph Taylor, Bishopstorfer swimmer, looking for 4:46. He's going to be inside that, comes in and he touches at 4:36.35. Second to touch, 4:38 for David Shipman. 4:41, very close. Daniel Lush just getting there ahead of Hamish McCaig. 4:44 for lane 7, Ollie Taverner. 4:48 for lane 2, David Sherwell-Cooper. 4:50 for Reese Housden, just outside the record, and 4:58 for Carl Holmes.
So here we go, heat number 11 of the men's 400-metre freestyle swimmers and all 8 lanes referee. Lane 1 is James Woodward, 14-year-old from Potters Bar. Also from Potters Bar in lane 2, that's Morgan Newman, who's 13. In lane 3, Jordan Northwood, 14-year-old from Berkhamsted. In 4, Elliot Wiley, 15-year-old from St Albans. In 5, Luke Sugden. Luke is 14 from Hatfield. In 6, Joseph Hensman, 15-year-old from St Albans. In 7, Alexander Ong, 14-year-old from St Albans. And in lane 8, Kieran Watkins, 14 from Stevenage. But at the first split in a time of 29.29, that is Jordan Northwood of Berkhamsted. Entry times here ranging from 4:38.05. Our fastest entrant is Luke Sugden in lane 5 from Hatfield, a 14-year-old. And Elliot Wiley, in fact, entered faster at 4:36.74 from St Albans in lane 4. As they approach the quarter stage, the 100-metre mark, turning first in a time of 1:03.09. That's Jordan Northwood. All swimmers coming down now to the 150 marker. Close between lanes 2 and 3. But that's still Jordan Northwood touching first, just ahead of Morgan Newman. 137.48 against 137.66. So at the halfway marker, at 200 in time of 2:11.93, new race leader, that is Elliot Wiley from St Albans. Touching just ahead in lane 3, Jordan Northwood, and Morgan Newman in lane 2. $250, 2:45.33 for Elliot Wiley. For our 13-year-old Morgan Newman in lane 2 from Potter's Bar. Well, with 100 to go in 3:19. Elliot Wiley of St Albans. Starting to extend his lead. So Elliot touches with 50 to go at 3:52.89. Second from in 3:58.62. That's Jordan Northwood. But it will be Elliot Wiley, who finishes first time of 4:25. Second finishing will be strong feature Alexander Ong in 4:32. Joseph Hensman in 4:32. Jordan Northwood 4:33. 4:33 for Luke Sugden. 4:33 Joseph Morgan Newman. 4:35 James Woodward, and 4:48 for Kieran Watkins, and that concludes heat number 11.
So we move on to the penultimate heat, heat number 12 of this men's 400 metres freestyle. So heat 12 of 13. Lane 1 is Ethan Farrell, who's 16 from Hatfield. Lane 2, Liam Hall, who's 18 from Watford. Lane 3, Luke Turley, who's 13 from Hatfield. One of two 13-year-olds in this. Lane 4, Luke Hazelhurst, who's 16 from Hatfield. Lane 5, Sam Gumbel, who's 14 from Hitchin. Lane 6 is Daniel Schindler, and Dan is 14 from St Albans. Lane 7, his teammate Peter Hensman, who's 16, and lane 8 is Ben Harrison, 13 from Potter's Bar. 50 turn, 28.08, so speeding up a bit now. Luke Hazelhurst, fastest entrant, leading the way at the moment. Sam Gamble right alongside him. So coming down towards their first split at 100 metres. In the lead, Luke Hazelhurst entered at 4:23. And let's see where he gets to on his split. And he splits at 59.63. Sam Gamble at 60.64. 61.36 for Ethan Farrell, and 62 for Luke Turley, the 13-year-old. 63s and 64s for all of the remaining swimmers. $150. $131, so still in around that 30-second pace for our leaders. 134.35, so slowest turn there. Last turn was 139, so still pretty much together. Luke Hazelhurst approaching the halfway mark. And still right behind him is Sam Gamble, who's a 14-year-old. Luke's 16, Sam's 14, so 2 years younger on the entries. Luke turns halfway, 2:04.98, going really well. Sam at 2:07.84, 2:08.21 for, in fact, Sam just got caught there. In fact, Ethan Farrell just up with Sam, he turned second. 2:11s and 2:13s, halfway for the others. So Ethan Farrell, who's just out of my line of sight there, who's did a very good second 100. And Ethan Farrell it is, who's now well up into second place. And his teammate, Luke Hazelhurst. Luke turns at 2:50 at 2:37, Ethan at 2:40, Sam at 2:42, 2:43 for Luke Turley, 2:45 for Daniel Schindler. So again, very close at the moment for the chasing pack. Luke Hazelhurst, 100 metres to go when he hits this turn. And still only just over a minute on each, 3:10.99. Ethan at 3:13, Sam at 3:16, 3:16 also for Luke Turley, 3:18.93 for Dan Schindler, 3:24s for both Ben Harrison and Peter Hensman, and 3:28 with 100 to go for Liam Hall. Last 50 metres, Luke Hazelhurst being chased by Ethan Farrell, and also being chased now by Luke Turley, who's come right up there into third place to pass Sam Gamble. So there's a big sprint on for the third place spot. At the front, Luke Hazelhurst, 25 metres to go, turns at 4 minutes. Ethan Farrell, about 3 seconds behind him, but sprinting right after him, and a lot of kicking going on by Luke Turley, going in very hard with his feet, but Luke Hazelhurst touches him, 4:17.13. Ethan Farrell, 4:19.57 in lane 1, 4:21.61 for Luke Turley, good time for him, 4:23.35 for Sam Gamble, 4:25.48 for Dan Schindler, 4:32 for Ben Harrison. Peter Hensman at 4:36, and completing the lineup, Liam Hall at 4:38.
So here we go with the very final heat. Heat number 13 of the men's 400 metre freestyle. Swimmers in all 8 lanes, referee. This promises to be exciting, this very final heat. We have some very fast swimmers in this one. In lane 1 we have Tom Sheriff, 18-year-old from Hempstead. Then we have all Hatfield swimmers in lanes 2 through 8. In lane 2, Nathan Hughes, 13. In 3, Josh Duggan, who's 17. In 4, Martin Walton, who's 16, our fastest entrant. In 5, Ben Purcell, who's 16. In 6, Nathan Bentley, who's 15. In 7, Tim Shuttleworth, who's 16. And in 8, Alex Evans, who's 15 from Hitchin. At the first split time of 27.33, that's Martin Walton. 56 of the turn for Martin Walton. Martin with entry time of 3:57.83. Turns in 1:26.13. And in 1:30, that's Josh Duggan.
Record is 4:01, so let's see where he gets to.
(1:55.41). Martin Walton at the 200 at the halfway mark. So Martin turns at the 250 mark at 2:24.19. The time we're looking at 3:52.32 is the championship record set by Caleb Hughes last year. So 100 to go for Martin Walton, turns in 2:53.73. Tim Shuttleworth in lane 7, turning 3:04.47. Tim with an entry time of 4:14. Third lane 3, Josh Duggan, 3:05.90. Josh with an entry time of 4:11.78. But Martin Walton in lane 4, turning with 50 to go, in time of 3:22.78. Nathan Hughes also going after his record of 4:09.75. Nathan in lane 2 with 50 to go. Turns in 3:38.71. But Martin kicking hard now in lane number 4. Martin Walton of Hatfield, lane number 4, who will close out this heat and finish in a time of 3:52.03. A new championship record for Martin Walton in lane number 4. Put your hands together. A fantastic swim by Martin. And finishing second in a time of 4:06.98. That's Tim Shuttleworth. 4:08.03. Josh Duggan. 4:08.68 for Nathan Hughes. 4:10.53 for Ben Purcell. 4:10.69 for Nathan Bentley. 4:18.76. Tom Sheridan. 4:23.54 for Alex Evans. I'm sure you'll agree it was a fantastic climax to the 400 free, event number 53. And we'll move on now to event 54, which is the women's 50-metre breaststroke, which will be swum in 19 heats.
So one more time, put your hands together for Martin Walton, fantastic swim there. New championship record, not just a championship record, but he's broken one set by an international swimmer, Caleb Hughes, last year. Truly tremendous performance, all by himself out front. Got a lot of 50-metre breaststroke heats to get through, 19 of these. Heat number 1 of 19, swimmers in lanes 2 to 7. So we start with a mixture of age groups. Got one 11-year-old in lane 2, Lucy Jordan Cause, who's from Verulam. The rest are all 9 years old. In lane 3 is Adi Dunwoody from St Albans. Lane 4 is Isabel Chapman from Harpenden. Lane 5 is Ellie Hollis from St Albans. Lane 6, Isabel Godfrey from St Albans, and another St Albans swimmer in lane 7, Jessica Robertson. 11-year-old in lane 2, but the rest are all 9, so watch them as they come down here, and right out in the lead there, Isabel Chapman from Harpenden, entered at 51.08. The others all in a line at the moment, very close. They all mainly entered around the 51-52 second mark, but with a few strokes to go. Isabel Chapman coming in, and she's going to touch well inside her entry time, 48.91 seconds, 51.72 in second for Isabel Godfrey, and 52.69 in third for Ellie Hollis. Heat 2 of the ladies 50-metre breaststroke, swimmers in all lanes. Heat 2, lane 1, Alice Richardson, 10 from Harpenden. Lane 2 is Beth Barker, 10 from Harpenden. Lane 3, Mia Gregg, who's 10 from Hertford. Lane 4, Nicole Eugenides, who's 10 from St Albans. And lane 5 is Sian Peary, 10 from Hemel Hempstead. 2 9-year-olds in this. The first is in lane 6, Bethan Fudge from Hatfield. Then lane 7, Eleanor Mason, 10 from Bishop Stortford. Remaining 9-year-old, Neve Kelly in lane 8 from Hatfield. Leading the way, lane 4, fastest entrant in this heat, is Nicole Eugenides from St Albans, entered at 48.81, with 36 at the moment, so looking pretty good. Bit of a spearhead forming, very close behind her. Not much to choose between lanes 3 and 6, but the first to touch, 46.01. Nicole Eugenides entered at 48.81. 48.32 for Mia Gregg and 48.45 for Sian Peary. Heat 3 of the 50 metres breaststroke. Lane 1, Ruby Blackburn, who's 10 from Watford. Lane 2, Isabel Barber, who's 10 from Verulam. All 10-year-olds, apart from lane 3. Caitlin Liu, who's 9 years from Hatfield. And Caitlin is the fastest 9-year-old entrant at 48.38. Lane 4 is Monica Hilaro from Hatfield. 5, Grace Stedman from St Albans. 6, Daisy Hanna from Harpenden. Lane 7 is Fikan Brinkrock, who's 10 from Hertford. And then lane 8 is Francesca Pecci, who is 10 from Watford. You can hear the noise in the background, those people on YouTube. That's a hailstorm outside. And coming down towards the last 5 or 6 metres, in the lead, in lane 6 at the moment, Daisy Hanna, it looks like, and it's right across the pool behind her, going to be close, but first to touch is Daisy in 47.03, 47.91. Second to touch was Monica in lane 4, and 48.32 was Grace Stedman in lane 5. Heat number 4 of the girls' 50-metre breaststroke. So where we go in this next heat, lane 1 is Gia Patrick from Watford. They're nearly all 11 apart from the last 2 lanes. Lane 2 is Kara Day, who's 11 from Hertford. Lane 3, Ella Murphy, 11 from Harpenden. Lane 4, Serena Ellis, who's 11 from St Albans. Lane 5 is Elizabeth Earle, 11 from Hatfield. Lane 6 is Lucy Simister, 11 from Hertford. Lane 7, Libby Chambers, who's 10 from Verulam. Lane 8 is Amy Bishop, who's 10 from Hoddesdon. 2 10-year-olds in lanes 7 and 8, closest to spectators, and it's going to be over that side of the pool by the look of it, between 6, 7 and 8, and lane 1. When first to touch is actually 45.46 is Libby Chambers, 45.55 just behind her, Gia Patrick, and then 45.84 is Amy Bishop. Heat number 5 of the 50 metres breaststroke. Lane 1 is Zara Theobald, who's 10 from Hitchin, and a row of 11-year-olds. Lane 2 is Emily Baker from Berkhamsted. Lane 3 is Jade Whitehouse from Hatfield. 4 is Sonia Loudon from Hitchin. 5 is Anna Shipman from Potters Bar. 6, Jessica Woodward from Potters Bar. She's 10 years old, the only 10-year-old in this, well, 2 10-year-olds in this, sorry, Lane 1 as well. Ellie Galvin is in Lane 7, 11 from St Albans, and Lane 8 is Heather Anderson, who is 11 from Hoddesdon. So the 2 10-year-olds, Dara in Lane 1 and Jessica in Lane 6, coming into the last 5 or 6 metres, and it looks at the moment like a small lead for Sonia in Lane 4, but we'll wait to see who touches first, and it is Sonia. 43.84 gets the touch, 44.52 for Ellie Galvin, and 44.66 very close behind for 3rd place for Jessica Woodward.
Heat number 6 now of the women's 50-metre breaststroke, swimmers in lanes 2 through 8, referee. Lydia Coombs in lane 2, 12-year-old from Bishop Stortford. In 3, Georgia Perkis, 11-year-old from Hemel. In 4, Izzy Salisbury, 11-year-old from Berkhamsted. In 5, Katie Harrison, 11-year-old from Potters Bar. 6, Frankie Hunt, 12-year-old from Hertford. 7, Paris Driver, 12-year-old from Stevenage. And in 8, Jessica Chadwick, 11-year-old from St Albans. So this is heat number 6 of the women's 50-metre breaststroke. With Georgia Perkis in lane 3 from Hemel. 11-year-old with some very strong sprinting. Very close right across the pool, but it will be in lane 3. Georgia Perkis touching 42.06. Second from Paris Driver in 43.86, and very close to 3rd position. That's lane 4, Izzy Salisbury in a time of 43.90. Heat number 7 now of the women's 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. In 1, Kirsten Owen. Kirsten's 12 from Hitchin. 2, Isabella Rennick, 10-year-old from Bishop Stortford. 3, Troy Metz, 11 from Hertford. 4, Marcia Billingham, Tring, 11-year-old. In 5, Ruby Mulgan, 12-year-old from Harpenden. In 6, Ellen Williams, 11-year-old from Watford. In 7, Anna Hill Lopez Mencher, 12-year-old from Verulam. In 8, Emma Salter, 12-year-old from Watford. All very close across the pool here, so let's see who will get the touch. We have 10-year-old Isabella Rennick in lane 2. But getting a touch first in time of 42.65, that's lane 3, Troy Metz. From in second, 43.94, Marcia Billingham. And 43.98 in the second spot, that's Isabella Rennick, our 10-year-old from Bishop Stortford. Heat number 8 now of the women's 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. Lane 1, Lauren Pryor, 12-year-old from Hitchin. In 2, Clem Waterhouse, 11-year-old Tring. 3, Courtney Burke, 12-year-old Cheshunt. 4, Leanne Avery, Hemel Hempstead, 12-year-old. In 5, Jessica Leitner, 12 from St Albans. 6, Jessica Bond, 11-year-old from Hatfield. 10-year-old Erin Amira in lane 7 from Watford. And Vicky Brackenbury, 12-year-old from Hitchin, in lane 8. Very close between lanes 4 and 7. That's Leanne Avery in 4 and Erin Amira, 10-year-old from Watford, in lane 7. The touching first in time of 40.71, that's Leanne Avery. Second to lane 5, 41.65, Jessica Leitner. And in 41.88, that is Erin Amira. Heat number 9 now, the 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. Lane 1, Megan Pope, 12-year-old from Cheshunt. In 2, Megan Sharkey, 13-year-old from Hertford. In 3, Cara Lynch, 12-year-old from Hertford. In 4, Tori Pope, 13-year-old from Watford. 5, Rachel Smith, Hitchin, 13-year-old. 6, Eleanor Bevan, 12-year-old from Hemel. 7, Ellen Northwood, 13-year-old from Berkhamsted. And in lane 8, Madeline Terrell, 13-year-old from St Albans. Ellen Bevan going very well in lane 6, also in lane 1, that's Megan Pope from Cheshunt. But touching first in a time of 40.21, that is Eleanor Bevan from lane 1's Megan Pope at 4:91, and 41.93 in third position, that's Cara Lynch from Hertford. Heat 10 now, over halfway through of the women's 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. In 1, Eden Kramer, 13-year-old from Harlesmith Flyers. 2, Josie Precious White, 12-year-old from Bishop Stortford. 3, Katie Fitch, 11-year-old from Watford. 4, Jess Potts, 13-year-old from Berkhamsted. 5, Monica Ong, 12-year-old from St Albans. 6, Libby Trailing, 12-year-old from Harpenden. 7, Chloe Woodruff, 12-year-old from Tring. And in 8, Kaylee Perry, 12-year-old from Hoddesdon. All these swimmers with an entry time in the early 42 seconds, so all looking to get within their entry times. Very close across the board as the entry times do reflect. Close between lanes 4 and lane 6. Jess Potts in 4 and Libby Trailing in 6. But to get the touch, it will be in a time of 40.01. That is Libby Trailing from 40.83, Jess Potts, and 41.33. That's Josie Precious White in lane 2. Heat number 11 now of the women's 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. Eleven-year-old Ella Chown in lane 1 from St Albans. In 2, Lucy Malloy, 13 from Verulam. In 3, Sam Perry, 13-year-old from Hoddesdon. In 4, Amelia Summers, 14 from Hertford. 5, Chloe Ogden, 12 from Bishop Stortford. 6, Freya Bennett, 13 from St Albans. 7, Alara Norton, 12 from Cheshunt. And in lane 8, Sarah Carroll, 11-year-old from Bishop Stortford. So 2 11-year-olds in lanes 1 and 8. Looking forward to the breaststroke finals. Later on in this session, we have finals in the 50 breast and in the 50 backstroke. But touching first, in a time of 39.28, that's lane 7, that's Alara Norton. And that concludes heat number 11. Can we please have all the swimmers for the men's 50-metre backstroke, event number 55, please report to the marshalling area. That's all the men for the 50-metre backstroke for the marshalling area, please.
Heat number 12 of the ladies 50-metre breaststroke. Lane 1, Sophie Payne, 11 from Hatfield, and she's the youngest swimmer in this heat. Lane 2, Jessica Hurley from Potters Bar. Lane 3, Isabel Clifford from St Albans. They're both 14. 13-year-old Helen Jennings is in lane 4 from Tring. Lane 5, Emily Lampon, 14 from Bishop Stortford, and the rest are 14 as well. Lane 6, Rhiannon Ellis from St Albans. Lane 7, Maya Holroyd from Bishop Stortford. Lane 8, Olivia Martin from Watford. Fastest entrant, about 40.95. Helen in lane 4. Going to be very close indeed. At the moment it's very close between 5, 6 and 4. Also coming up well is the lane 7 as well. So we'll have to wait and see who gets the touch. And a touch at 40.90 actually goes to Jessica Hurley. Excellent swim. 41.57 to Emily Lampon. 41.70 in third place to Mia Holroyd.
Okay, heat number 13 now. Heat 13, the women's 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. In 1, Millie Donovan, 15-year-old from Cheshunt. In 2, Harriet Collins, 13 from Berkhamsted. 3, Georgiana Bouchin, 13 from Bodies Bar. 4, Amy Young, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 5, Carly Bays, 14 from Hoddesdon. 6, Charlotte Shaw, 12-year-old from Berkhamsted. 7, Millie Southcote, 14 from Harpenden. And in 8, Alina Nellis, 13-year-old from Hitchin. Very close between Amy Young in lane 4 and Carly Bays in lane 5, both 14-year-olds. But just like it would be Carly Bays who will get the touch in a time of 38.14, well inside her entry time. Heat number 14 now of the women's 50-metre breaststroke, referee.
14, lane 1, Holly Atkins, 12 from Cheshunt. She's the youngest entrant in this one. Lane 2, Kedlin Hidnot, is 14 from Harpenden. Lane 3, Sophie Burns, 14 from Watford. Lane 4, Emily South, 13 from Cheshunt. Lane 5 is Charlotte Watson, 13 from Berkhamsted. Lane 6, Chloe Nash, 14 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 7, May Moody, who's 16 from St Albans. And lane 8 is Abby Hurst, 13 from Berkhamsted. Leader at the moment, lane 4, very close between 4 and 5, but Emily South from Cheshunt entered at 39.53. Going to be close though, and when they touch it is Emily at 38.37. Second to touch, 39.13 was Charlotte Watson, and 40.02 third was Abby Hurst. Heat number 15 of the 50 metres breaststroke. Lane 1, Rhiannon Mayday, 17 from Hoddesdon. Lane 2 is Alicia Kramer, who's 15 from Hartsmith Flyers. 3, Jessica Scott, who's 17 from Hitchin. Lane 4 is Abby Brown, who's 15 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5 is Charlotte Morris, who's 15 from Harpenden. 6, Olivia Smith-Lau from Bishop Stortford. 7, Charlotte Garcia, 14-year-old from Hartsmith Flyers, youngest entrant in this heat. And Eleanor McDonald's in lane 8 from Berkhamsted, and she's 15. Coming down into the last few strokes, and it's going to be very tight indeed. Opposite sides of the pool. We'll wait and see who touches first. And look to the A&E, and it goes at 38.63. First to touch was Abby Brown, 38.66. Second was Alicia Kramer, and 38.80. Rhiannon Mather touched in third. Heat number 16 of the girls' 50 metres breaststroke. There we are on Heat 16. Lane 1, Molly Francis, who's only 12 years old from Hatfield. 3 12-year-olds in this one though. Lane 2 is Emily Kiernan, 15 from Berkhamsted. 3 is Leanne Carey, 14 from Watford. 4 is Nadine Smith, 12 from Hatfield. Lane 5, Laura Copping, 13 from Hatfield. 6, Isabel McLeese, who's 15 from Hertford. 7, Rosa Cohen, 17 from St Albans. And lane 8, Charlotte Nash, who's 12 from Bishop Stortford. Coming into the last few strokes is in the middle of the pool, 2 Hatfield swimmers, Nadine Smith and Laura Copping. It's going to be between these two, I think, on the touch. And as they come into touch, it goes to 37.17 to Nadine Smith, 37.31 to Laura Copping, 37.76 to Molly Francis. Heat 17 of the girls' 50 metres of breaststroke. Lane 1, Millie Dixon, 15 from Harpenden. Lane 2 is Ellie Mitchell, 13 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 3, Lauren Clarkson, 15 from Watford. 4, Layla Manthorpe Rosetteby is 13 from St Albans. Lane 5 is Emma Killen, is 12 from Tring, youngest entrant in this heat. Lane 6 is Kira Doll, 18 from Hemel. Lane 7 is Caitlin Dang, 13 from Harpenden. And lane 8 is Bethany Basters, 16 from Tring. Fastest 12-year-old entrant is in this one in lane 5, Emma Killen. Coming in towards the last few strokes, and at the moment it's very tight between lanes 4 and 6, but it's going to go to Layla in 36.34, ahead of 37.05, which is Catelyn Dang, and in third place 37.17 to Lauren Clarkson.
Heat 18 now, penultimate heat of the women's 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. Abigail Green in lane 1, 13-year-old from Watford. In 2, Becky Freestone, 15-year-old from Hoddesdon. In 3, Paige Wilding, 15 from Hemel. 4, Kira Fletcher, 15 from Bishop Stortford. 5, Ashley Ransom, 18 from Hertford. 6, Megan Wickham, 14 from Bishop Stortford. 7, Grace Rayner, 15 from Hemel. And 8, Yazzie Brand, 16-year-old from Watford. So 13-year-old Abigail Green, one to watch out for in this heat in lane number 1. The 13-year-old record is 36.27. Abigail has an entry time of 37.38. But touching first in time of 36.60, that is Kira Fletcher. Second from 36.81, that's Ashley Ransom. And in lane 3, 36.87, Paige Wilding. Final heat now, heat number 19 of 19, the women's 50-metre breaststroke. Referee. In lane 1, Victoria Pritchard, 17 from Hatfield. In 2, Sarah O'Brien, 17 from Hertford. 3, Maddie Churchman, 17 from Hatfield. 4, Katie Armitage, 17 from Hatfield. 5, Lauren Baker, 18 from Hatfield. 6, Kate McQuaid, 15 from Hatfield. 7, Alison Binns, 18 from Watford. And 8, Robin Brett, 16 from Watford. So Katie Armitage in lane 4 with an entry time of 33.76, looking to get inside 33.66, which would be a championship record. Katie Armitage touches in 33.70, just inside her entry time, just outside the championship record though. Very fast swim. With the final to come later on, so it'll be very exciting to stick around for that to see whether we will have any further records broken, to add to Martin Walton's earlier on this morning. But that does draw an end to event number 54, which was the women's 50-metre breaststroke. And we move on to event 55. Event 55 is the men's 50-metre backstroke, which will be swum in 18 lovely heats.
And we start with heat number 1 of the 50 backstroke. Swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. And in heat 1 in lane 3 we have William McGilvery, who's from Bushy. Lane 4 is James Thornley from Hartsmith Flyers, and lane 5 is Aaron Pickard, who's from Cheshunt, all 9 years old. Should just, for the sake of the record, point out, of course, that the 400-metre freestyle is was swum under protest. So until such time as that result is protest is resolved and the results are ratified, Martin Walton's record will not stand, but hopefully it will. Coming into the last few strokes, we've got Aaron Pickard from Cheshunt just coming down to touch. He entered at 48.27 and he touched at 46.02, 47.15 for James Thornley, 49.34 for William McGilvery. Please make sure you collect your medals. Do check the results. Do collect all of your medals, and obviously up to the age of the 16-year-olds in the 400 free, you can collect your medals for those as well. Heat number 2 of the men's 50 metres backstroke. Heat 2, lane 1 is Mason Mills, who's 9 from Hemel. They're all 9 in this one as well. Lane 2 is Kieran Bickett, Kieran is from St Albans. Lane 3, George Williams, who's from Harpenden. Lane 4 is Taylor Coe from Cheshunt. Lane 5 is Maraj Singh, who's from Watford. Lane 6, Sebastian John from Hatfield. And lane 7, Jack Pemberton from Berkhamsted. Into the last half of this length, and out in the lead there, Sebastian John from Hatfield in lane 6 entered at 46.26. Very, very close behind him, particularly between around lane 3, but Sebastian touches in 42.80. Excellent swim. 44.01 second to touch is George Williams, and 44.19 was Kieran Bickett. Heat number 3 of the men's 50 metre backstroke. Lane 1, Noah Cornwell, who's 9 years old from Hartsmith Flyers. Lane 2, Lewis Clark, who's 10 from Watford. Lane 3, Dominic Burns, who's 10 from Stevenage. Lane 4 is Oscar Bryce, who's 9 from St Albans. Lane 5 is James Pope from Watford. These are all 10 years old, the remaining ones. Lane 6 is Thomas Ogden from Bishop Stortford. 7, Alexander Backhouse from Hatfield. Lane 8, Daniel Chinells from Tring. Into the last 15 metres. In the lead at the moment, lane 6, Thomas Ogden from Bishop Stortford. And going after him in lanes 5, 7 and 8 are James Pope, Alexander Backhouse and Daniel Chinells. Let's see who touches first. And there we are, 40.82 for Thomas Ogden, 41.38. In fact, a good finish from Oscar Bryce, and 42.01 also from James Pope, coming up fast at the end. Clear the pool, please, swimmers. Clear the pool, please. Heat 4 of the men's 50 metres backstroke. Heat 4, lane 1 is Nathaniel Hopkins, who's from Verlam. These are all 10 years old in this heat. Lane 2, Charlie Cole, who's from Hoddesdon. Lane 3, Marco Tontadonati from Hoddesdon. Lane 4 is Archie Andlin, who's from Hertford. Lane 5 is Kieran Cook from St Albans. 6 is Daniel Martin from St Albans. 7, Luke Temple from Harpenden. And lane 8, William Tolan from St Albans. It's actually very close at the moment, looking across the pool, difficult to judge, but possibly lane 4 in the lead at the moment, Archie Andlin. But we'll wait and see. It's going to be incredibly close on the touch. And as they touch, whoa, absolutely close there. Archie at 41.83, 41.88, 500ths behind him for Luke Temple, and 42.15 for Marco Tontadonati. Can you clear the pool to the side, please? Swimmers, clear the pool, please. Warm up for the next session, 12:45. 12:45 for those people who are making their way out of the pool. Got some finals to come, so do stay and watch those. It's going to be really, really exciting.
Heat number 5 now of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. In lane 1, we've got George Thorne, who's 10 from Tring. In 2, Toby Sherville, 9-year-old from Hatfield. In 3, Alex Horn, 10-year-old from St Albans. 4, Max Sherville, 9-year-old from Hatfield. In 5, Louis Armitage, 10-year-old from Berkstead. 6, Samuel Bouchin, 10-year-old from Potters Bar. 9-year-old Henry Flatt from St Albans in lane 9. And Edward Jex in lane 8, 10-year-old from St Albans. Nine-year-old Max Sherville from Hatford in lane 4, touch number 38.92 from Henry Flatt. Also 9-year-old from St Albans, 29.30 and 61. And in lane 1, George Thorne from Tring, times of 39.83. Please clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers, so we can commence with the next heat. A reminder that following the backstroke heats, we have the finals of the women's 50-metre breaststroke, followed by the men's 50-metre backstroke. Heat number 6 now of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. In 1, Amric Braco, 11-year-old from Bishop Stortford. In 2, Joshua Foreman, 11-year-old from Hartsmere Flyers. 3, Oliver Parker, 10-year-old from Hatfield. 4, Nicholas Botos, 11 from Bishop Stortford. 5, Josh Truin, 10-year-old from St Albans. 6, Maxwell George, 10-year-old from Hatfield. And 7, James Rayner, 10-year-old from Hatfield. But 10-year-old James Rayner in lane number 7 from Hatfield, looks like he'll get the touch first. In a time of 38.37, close to lane 5, that's Josh Foreman, in time 38.83, and 39.06, Oliver Parker, 10-year-old from Hatfield. Clear the pool, please, swimmers. Heat number 7 of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. Charlie Kings in lane 1, 11-year-old from St Albans. 2, Cameron Clark, 12 from Watford. 3, Bernard Matinda, 11-year-old from Stevenage. 4, Ashley Coombs, 12 from Hemel. 5, Elliot Hitchin, 12 from St Albans. 6, Ryan Pocock, 12 from Stevenage. 7, Sam Gaines, 12 from Hemel. And 8, Benjamin Green, 10-year-old from Watford. So all swimmers are entered according to their entry time, so that's why I have different age groups swimming in different heats. Depends on their entry time. But the fastest entry in this heat is in time of 38.48. That's 12-year-old Ashley Coombs in lane 4. But in lane 5, touching first at 36.50, that's Elliot Hitchin. Head of our fast entry in 37.02, that was Ashley Coombs. And in third spot, in time of 37.96, that's lane 7, Sam Gaines from Hemel. Please clear the pool. Please clear the pool, swimmers. That concludes heat number 7. Heat number 8 now. Heat number 8 of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. In lane 1, Daniel Murter, 10-year-old from Stevenage. 2, Daniel Cole, 12-year-old from Hoddesdon. 3, Nicholas Hollis, 12 from Hatfield. 4, Rhys Dolan, 11-year-old from Hoddesdon. 5, Nathan Wankling, 12 from Hatfield. 6, Zach Patel, 12 from Berkhamsted. 7, Jamie Braxton, 12 from Hitchin. And 10-year-old in lane number 8, Zane Batt from Cheshunt. So, in lane number 6, Zach Patel, going very well from Berkhamsted. Zach touches in time of 36.34, ahead of in 36.94, that's Rhys Dolan. With 37.07, lane 3, finishing third, Nicholas Hollis, 12-year-old from Hatfield.
Clear the pool, please, Summers. Clear the pool, please. Clear the pool, please, Summers. Don't forget the finals after this set of races. Heat 9 of the men's 50 metres backstroke. Lane 1, Dineth Cartherinkalaka, who's 12 from Hatfield. Lane 2 is Nathan Stewart, who's 12 from Stevenage. 3, Dominic McCarthy, who's 11 from Hoddesdon. 2 11-year-olds in this. Lane 4 is Michael Sim, who's 12 from Hertford. 5, Matthew Redjeb, 12 from Watford. Lane 6 is Matthew Tester-Wilson, 12 from Harpenden. Lane 7 is Eddie Canfield, who is the other 11-year-old from Harpenden. Lane 8 is Peter Kenyon, 12 from Tring. Right out in the lead at the moment, Michael Sim from Hertford entered 38.2, and it's on the touch behind him, but Michael touches at 35.32, fantastic swim. 37.37, just getting there second for Matthew Redgem, 37.55 for Matthew Tester-Wilson. Clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers. Clear the pool, please. Clear the pool. Heat number 10 of the men's 50 metres backstroke. Heat 10, lane 1 is Timothy Hughes, who's 11 from Hatfield. Lane 2 is Guy Munster, who's 11 from St Albans. Lane 3, Thomas Soland, who's 13 from St Albans. Lane 4, English James, who is 13 from Verulam. Lane 5, Adam Bailey, 13 from Cheshunt. Lane 6 is Joseph Richardson, 12 from Harpenden. 7, Toby Laguda, 11 years old from Hatfield. And lane 8, Michael Ripper, 12 from Harpenden. And it's over in lane 8, Michael Ripper entered at 38.12 in the lead at the moment. Going well also is Ignatius James in 4, but it's going to be Michael touch first in 35.45, Ignatius at 36.13, and 36.77 for Thomas Toland. Can you clear the pool, please? Clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers. Clear the pool, please. Heats number 11 of the men's 50 metres backstroke. Heat 11, lane 1 is Thomas Cadenhead, who's 11 years old from St Albans. Lane 2 is Morgan Newman, 13 from Potters Bar. 3, James Chanels, who's 12 from Tring. 4, Matthew Honeyman, who's 13 from Potters Bar. 5 is Cole James, 12 from Tring. 6, Ralph Davis, 12 from Hoddesdon. 7 is Stephen Rafey, who's 13 from Bishop Stortford. And in lane 8, Harrison Rees, 13 years old from Watford. Fastest entrant, Matthew Honeyman in lane 4, 36.57. And he's up there, but also going well. Harrison Lee's in lane 8, and in lane 3, James Chanel's. It's going to be very close as they come into touch. And it goes to James Chanel's at 35.15, 35.57 for Harrison Lee's, and 36.27 in third touch for Matthew Honeyman. Clear the pool, please, swimmers. Can you clear the pool to the side, please?
Heat number 12 now of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. Josh Rayner is in lane 1, 13 from Hatfield. In 2, Ben Muckleston, 12 from St Albans. 3, Hassan Zaid, 13 from Hemel. In 4, Luke Moore, 12 from Hatfield. In 5, Jake Emerson, who's 13 from Hitchin. In 6, Callum Wollaston, 12 from Cheshunt. In 7, Joel Green, 13 from St Albans. And in lane 8, Matteo Tontonati, 12 from Hoddesdon. Fastest entry in this heat is 12-year-old Luke Moore in lane 4 in a time of 35.68. But touching first in a time of 33.46, it is Jack Emerson touching ahead of in lane number 2, Ben Muckleston in 34.28. In 34.79 is lane 1, Josh Rayner. Heat number 13 now of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. Lane 1, Daniel Tarry, 13 from Harford. In 2, Ollie Hurst, 14 from Berkhamsted. 3, Finn Archibald, 14 from Hemel. 4, Jack Sherrill Cooper, 14 from Potters Bar. 5, Marcus Kemp, 12 from Watford. 6, David Shipman, 13 from Potters Bar. 7, Jeffrey Toos, 14 from Stevenage. And in 8, James Blount, 13 from Potters Bar. Fast entries in this heat are lanes 4 and 5, Jack Sherrill Cooper from Potters Bar in a time of 34.34. Matched to Marcus Kemp in a time of 34.34 from Watford. But going well in lane 4, that's Jack Sherrill Cooper and Potters Bar. But touching first, lane 1 in time of 33.88, that's Daniel Tarry from Harford from 34.16, lane number 2, Ollie Hurst. And in 3, 34.53, that's Finn Archibald. Heat number 14 now of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. In 1, Daniel Charter, 12 from Bishop Salford. 2, Tillian Wellawita, 15 from Potters Bar. 3, Joseph Henson, 15 from St Albans. 4, Harry Jones, 14 from Hitchin. 5, Sam Murkoff, 15 from Tring. 6, Jordan Northwood, 14 from Berkhamsted. 7, Rhys Houstons, 11 from Hatfield. And 8, Jack Fagan, 14 from Watford. Let's give a close eye here on lane number 7. 7's Rhys Houston, an entry time of 33.86. 11-year-old championship record is 33.24. So we're looking for Rhys, looking to get inside 33.24. But touching first in a time of 32.29 is Joseph Hensman. Heat number 15 now of the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. Callum Davis in lane 1 in 13-year-old from Bridget Stortford. In 2, Ben Hunt, 14 from Hoddesdon. 3, Tom Weston, 13 from Berkhamsted. 4, Patrick Tarry, 15 from Hertford. 5, George Penn, 15 from Hertford. 6, Callum Keane, 14 from St Albans. 7, Chris Armitage, 15 from Chesham. And 8, Joseph Taylor, 13 from Bridget Stortford. So our unofficial record for Reece Houston in the heat number 14, coming in at a time of 33.21, just to be ratified later on. But in this heat, touching first in a time of 30.35, that's Patrick Tarry from Hertford. Second, 32.10, that's Ben Hunt. And third, lane 6, 32.65, Callum Keane. Heat number 16 now, the men's 50-metre backstroke. Referee. Oliver Taverner, 12-year-old from Watford in lane number 1. 2, Nathan Holmes, 15-year-old from Bishop Stortford. In 3, Matt Sheriff, 16-year-old from Hemel. 4, Elliot Wiley, 15 from St Albans. 5, Ben Harrison, 13 Potters Bar. 6, Tam Strutch, 16 from Berkhamsted. 7, Richard Thompson, 15 from Letchworth. And 8, James Woodward, 14-year-old from Potters Bar. Keep an eye on lane number 1. Lane number 1, Watford, Oliver Taverner. 12-year-old record is 32.71. So his entry time would suggest he could get inside that. Touching first, lane number 4, 31.08.
We on to the last 2. Heat 17 of the boys, 50 metres of backstroke. Penultimate heat, lane 1, Daniel Schindler, 14 from St Albans. Lane 2, Robert Jennings, who's 16 from Tring. Lane 3, Josh Gaines, who's 15 from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 4, Josh Fruin, 17 from Tring. Lane 5, Jan Salkido, 15 from Watford. 6 is George Dufresne, 16 from Hitchin. 7, Callum Chivers, his teammate, so 17 years old. And lane 8, 13-year-old Luke Turley, fastest entrant from Hatfield. Coming in to the last few strokes, can't see from here who's going to get the touch. And very close to the 30.25 goes to Josh Fruin, 30.53, second Jan Salkido, and 30.84, third to touch George Dufresne. Can you clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers? Can you clear the pool, please? Which brings us to the final heat. We'll let you know the finalists for the 2 finals we have to swim as soon as we have them, but if you are likely to be at a final, if you can make sure you are still available, please. The final heat 18 of this men's 50 metres backstroke. Lane 1, Sam Gamble, 14 years old from Hitchin, the youngest swimmer in this final heat. Lane 2 is Freddie Woodcock, 17 from Hemel. Lane 3, Danny Buckley, 19 from Stevenage. 4, Martin Morton, 16 from Hatfield. 5, Will Kersey, 16 from Hatfield. 6, Ben Ransom, 16 from Hertford. 7, Rhys Short from Hatfield. And lane 8 of Harry Ormrod from Berkhamsted, they're both 16. Championship record is 26.81. Martin Morton holds a junior 1. They've got a final to come, so I don't believe they're going to be pushing hugely fast. 28.23. Easy swim for Martin Morton. 28.53. Danny Buckley, and third there, 28.75 from Will Kersey. All comfortable for the final. If you could clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers. Clear the pool, please. And we'll let you know the finalists as soon as we have them. For those people who have won medals, Can you please check the results? Obviously, we do get situations where people don't believe they've won a medal, but unfortunately, technical infringements do sometimes mean that people are disqualified in medal position. So check the results, please, and if you have got a medal, if you could collect the medals from this morning and previous sessions at the lunchtime break, we would be very, very grateful, so that we don't have a whole pile of medals to have to take home with us. We've got a few minutes break before we will know the finalists for the two finals, and we'll come back to you as soon as possible.